Stop looking for it from outside.
Yes.
There are tools outside, but they have to be applied by you. You're the only one. You ask any of the actual good therapists out there that have written whatever they've written over the years, the healing comes from you. You know, most of the time you go to a therapist, you're going to do a lot of talking. They're just going to be listening, and you're going to talk your way through a bunch of stuff. They might ask a question here and there so that you can talk some more until you get to the place you need to be where you can make the decisions that will get you to the healing. The first thing is you have to stop being afraid. There's two scenes in two movies that I like to go to, okay, as far as a picture of what you have to have going on inside about the way things have been, that you're done. I'm done being that person. I'm done living that way. I'm done whatever. You know, one is Scarlett in Gone with the Wind. Halfway through the movie when she goes, you know, as God is my witness, you know, my family will never starve. She had gotten to that point. She's like, whatever it's going to take, I'm fixing this. No, she didn't make some really good choices after that, but she at least got to that point where this is not going to keep going the way it's going. And then, of course, in the movie Network, you know, the guy who was the TV news anchor gets up and he says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. He'd just gotten to the point where he said, I'm just done. When are you going to just be done with that flesh nonsense that's running your life? See, I keep talking to people that are getting nowhere because they will not find in that self or whatever it is that Janet was talking about, the strength to stand up and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. This is going to change. It takes strength to do that. And most of you are you're like cardboard cutout people, not people. Like, blow on you, you fall right over. All right? You have no strength. And it's only a choice, by the way. You can have the strength right this minute if you choose to have it. It's in you. Because under the right circumstances, it'll pop out where you need it. You're just not able to pull it out when you want to. Okay, but you have to find that strength because he says this is a war going on inside you. And most of you are sitting in the trenches, sucking your thumb, you know, needing a diaper change and afraid and cowering in the corner instead of getting up and doing fighting. Win the war inside. And say, no. You know, you go to do what you always did and you say, no, we don't do that anymore. I am not the person that does that anymore. Oh, but we want to. No. We're not doing that anymore. And fight that fight. Some of you are so conflict averse, though, that you can't even fight in your own battle inside you. You take the path of least resistance. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to fight. Because the flesh does not, I'm pretty sure there's a verse somewhere that kind of hints at this, but the flesh does not give up easily. The flesh is going to hold on with everything it's got. And you have to fight. And the way you fight is you make a decision and you decide, I am not doing this anymore. And that way, and by the way, once you make decisions, nobody can shake your tree. Because the decision has in it, in the Latin, the idea of cutting off other choices. It's like when you make an incision, you're making a cut, right? So a decision, you're cutting off something. And so you haven't made a decision, though. See, once you make a decision, I'm not doing Christmas and Easter anymore, then nobody should be able to shake your tree about it. Okay, I know you do it, that's fine. I'm not doing it. Okay, they invite you to stuff on Saturday, you made a decision, I don't do that stuff. You just say, look, I'm sorry, I don't do that stuff. It should not be an issue. People come to me saying, oh, but my family doesn't, and they're all mad, and they don't like me anymore, and they won't. What does that have to do with anything? You made a decision. But I don't like the way it feels when they don't like me. I want everybody to like me. I hate to break it to you, not everybody likes you. I don't care how nice you are and sweet you are, there are people that don't like that. I'm telling you right now, in a room full of 200 people, if we had, if everybody was here, that I could ask every single one of you if there's anybody in here that you don't like, and every one of you would have somebody that you don't like. Well, I don't like the way they do this, and I don't like the way they do that, and I don't like that they come off this way or that way. Stop trying to please everybody and think that everybody has to like you. Make your decisions because it's who you are and what you are, and I'm not going to be that old me. You're supposed to put that you in the water when you baptized. That's the whole you were supposed to bury, the old you. But you're just showing weakness. I read. Do you think Yeshua was weak? You think Paul was weak? John, James, Peter? I mean, I don't see weak people. Anybody that did anything, Moses? No, Moses had his weak moments in the beginning. Well, I'm slow of speech, and I'm the wrong guy, and I don't, they don't like me back in Egypt. Why are you picking me? But he grew out of that weakness and became strong. Strong enough to recognize the weakness in him, wanted to kill somebody, and he said to the father, please kill me before I kill one of them. And the father's like, no, that's okay, you can handle this. You're strong enough to handle this. See, but a lot of you don't want to see yourself that strong. I'm not saying become a harsh, hard person. All of this should be happening internally. Nobody should even be able to see it. They'll see the result of it because you'll be doing different things and making different choices. But your personality shouldn't change. You should still be the sweet person you were if you were a sweet person. And if you weren't, you should be a sweeter person. But that's got to come out of strength. Rabbi Tom likes to help us understand that when it says the meek shall inherit the earth, that meek is quiet strength. But it's still strength. But it's strength that doesn't need to be loud. Some of you had parents that were scary as all whatever, and they never raised their voice ever. There was a strength that you knew they had, that they didn't have to raise their voice. But they conveyed that strength. Okay? I'm telling you right now, all of you can do this. You need to do this. But you need to do it because you feel like you need to do it. Dig inside for that, whatever is Janet psychobabbled, okay? For that self or whatever it is. Because I don't like to hear all of that. It gets to be whatever. Simplify it, okay? Whatever really is you, take control and get the other guys to shut up. Call it whatever you want. Call it all these other things. But stop thinking that it's going to come from some recipe, technique, or some other thing. Just, you got to make a decision. This is who I am. That's who I was, but this is who I am. And then defend that. Not necessarily to everybody else, to yourself. They'll all see it anyway. They'll see the changes that come out of you gaining the strength to stand up against you. And maybe outside influences trying to influence you. Now you can do it, by the way, if it's somebody else, respectfully. But be strong. I've had to talk to a few people that had to, some people maybe had some interest in dating this one or doing this other one, where I said, look, tell them you're not interested. Be strong about it, but don't be mean about it. Right? You can be strong. You can look, I told my family whenever they invited me to stuff that happened to be on Saturday, and don't think just because they're Jewish they don't do that. They do. I had to say, can't do it. It's Saturday. And I was clear that it was non-negotiable, but I didn't do it in any harsh, mean way. I just said, look, it's Saturday. I can't do it. But I did it in a way that they knew there was no arguing with it. So there was no reason to try to change my mind. I'm not doing it. Okay? But they could feel the strength and conviction behind that. It doesn't have to be hard, strong, loud. They could hear the strength. Okay? Like when I told my children, stop doing that, or whatever, they would know I meant what I said. That's all. Strength just means you mean what you say. If the strength is there, they'll feel that. And that's the theme of all this. I'm trying to get you guys prepared for the time when he's going to look at you and decide whether or not he wants to spend forever with you. And you're going to have to strengthen up. Okay? You're going to have to really build that strength. Okay? And I'm not talking about physically. It's the mind and the control over your choices and your decisions and what you do. I don't care if you're handicapped. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. I don't care what's going on. It's this that he's watching and trying to make sure you qualify, that you're worthy of the master.